Wow.
Boogaloo.
Films. Bad films. Lots of films. Very, very bad films. Films. Watch that film. Then talk about it. It's Electric Boogaloo with Matt and Keenan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Electric Boogaloo, the show where we make bad films worse. I'm a spin-off movie about a horny guy fighting an asexual. Ballistic. Sex versus Never. Matt Bradley.
And I am a dinosaur who is really good at painting. Artistic Rex. Keenan Groom.
I feel like I'm missing the pun here.
Ballistic Ecks. Artistic
There we go.
Rex. It's the name of the film?
Yes, but Artistic Rex doesn't really sound like Ballistic Ecks.
I mean, it's close enough.
Sure. So we watched Ballistic Ecks versus Sever this week, which welcome everyone to the Electric Boogaloo archive. So for anyone who doesn't know, we used to do a radio show with Salford University. Big shout out to Shock Radio.
You might need to say that again, because I can't hear you.
Well, that's because I dropped my microphone.
Well, it's your own fault then, isn't it?
We used to do a radio show with Salford University. Big shout out to Shock Radio. And this is one of the films we did on Shock.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided those episodes, while they do exist, aren't like this. So we'll go back and do those films again. And this is one we decided to do specifically because we didn't properly watch the film last time.
No, we had trouble with connections and finishing it last time. So, and I think
we got 50 minutes in. It took 3 hours.
Yeah, and with the films that we watched originally, they were the iconic ones. We watched.
Yes.
What? Shut up. Okay, I'm trying to record Mr. Motorbike. Thank you.
It's a moose on a motorbike. It's a moose bike.
But yeah, like we watched the most popular bad films, so it'd be quite cool to revisit them.
Yeah, we tried to do genre films as well, and this was our spy week.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were disappointed then, and this time I was like, it was bad, but like...
It was a there film.
Nothing special.
I found that they took tropes from every other action film and tried to put it into one film.
To me, it felt like this was like a very generic kind of cookie cutter action film.
Yeah.
With me. It was like someone out there wrote a book that was like, follow these exact steps and you will make an early 2000s action movie. Yeah. And this film did not stray from that guide at all.
No. Like Master Disguise last week was terrible.
But it was unique.
But as a spy film, it did something fresh.
Yes. This, it felt like a rip-off of like all three of the original Mission Impossible films, but with nothing quite as good as in any of them.
No.
And by quite as good, I mean nowhere close.
It was like I've seen Mission Impossible, I've seen the Bourne films, I've seen James Bond. Now I'm going to try and write a film myself.
When did Mission Impossible 2 come out? Because it felt most like Mission Impossible 2 to me.
I haven't seen them.
I think Mission Impossible 2 would have been... Yeah, that was 2000 and this was 2002. So this was pretty much a direct rip-off of Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got plenty to talk about with this one though, I think. And we'll get into that, but first, do you have a little story for me?
I have 2 little stories for you.
Okay.
I found one, and then I read it was quite short, and then I looked at the story underneath, and I haven't read that one yet, but it intrigues me.
Okay.
So the first one, there's, on the top of these ones in this website, there's like a weird little meme, and that basically tells you what the story is, but I don't want to read that out because it will give it away.
Okay.
So, a woman comes in, wants to see a movie. I think it was last year's Halloween release. Obviously, rated R. Okay, sure, no problem, right? Wrong. My theatre has this policy where if it's past 6 p.m, children under the age of 6 aren't allowed in a rated R movie. Because that's probably something like a 12A, isn't it? Where you can, I think, with adults, you can.
I think an R's are 15.
So you wouldn't be able to see it anyway, regardless of the.
Well, if you're there with your adult, you're allowed to, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think because, like, even if you're a baby, you'd probably be allowed in because you're not, as a baby, not really watching the film. And there's clearly an infant in the stroller. I go through my script. She's obviously not having it, gets into a yelling match with my manager and plays the race card. No shame.
Oh.
So apparently that's the reason why she's not allowed in. Because they're banning her from going in the film because of her race.
Yep, that's definitely it.
The manager says just to let her go in, so we do. We keep getting complaints about the child, but anytime we try to kick them out, it's the same song and dance. So obviously the child is crying or kicking the chair, but because of her race, they're trying to kick her out.
Yeah.
Cut to the end of the movie. She comes out, all smug smiles, and says, "Sorry, we have had a bit of an accident," and flaunts away. We go in, and there is spit up all over. Like this kid covered 3 to 4 seats all over 6 rows in puke. Oh. It didn't even seem humanly possible. All I can say is, honestly, the rules are there for a reason. Please just follow them. Because now we use this story as an example of why you aren't allowed to bring your infant into a film.
I mean, good that they've got like the warning story now, but Jesus, come on.
Yeah.
At least stay and help clean up the mess.
Yeah, or at least like say what happened.
Yeah, not just, I'm sorry we had an accident, because that could mean like I spilled a bit of popcorn, not my baby puked over 19 chairs.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? I've got another one, which was from Infinity War opening weekend. And already it could be anything because...
Yes. The cinema industry was manic for Infinity War and then even worse for Endgame.
Well, the one near us at Salford Quays, it was closed for renovation for ages, but they deliberately opened it on Endgame night because they knew they'd make their money back from the renovations.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They had a whole redo and then bam, Endgame.
I remember I went on the second day at what I thought would be a quiet time, and still every single screen was packed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was mental. This was for Endgame. Infinity War, we went to see it at like the midnight screening, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I remember because we went.
I was at work. I didn't have my. Yes. Sorry. Yes.
We went and recorded an episode of Boogaloo directly afterwards. It was great.
Yeah. Because I did that with either Captain Marvel or Endgame. Because I was at work and I didn't have my glasses, so I ran home, got my glasses, and went to the screen.
Oh, that might have been for Endgame because Captain Marvel. I remember I met you at work and then we went to go see it afterwards.
Yeah. Right. I'll read this Infinity War one.
Yes.
So our theatre had to give up its contract with the cleaning service near where I started to work there, which means not only am I crew lead, usher, and concessions, but now I'm janitorial and maintenance too.
Jesus
lots of jobs in the cinema for this person. While they were trying to figure out how to make the times work, we did a couple weeks stint during the opening of Infinity War, where we cleaned in the morning before opening. So I finished leaf blowing all the popcorn and trash to the bottom of the theatre. You read that right. Leaf blowing. Greatest invention ever. I didn't think of that. That's very good. Getting a leaf blower.
Pretty clever, yeah.
You know, what might be easier is getting a Hoover because it's already then in the bag. I suppose it's harder to get
I suppose you use the leaf blower, it's all in one spot and then you go for a straight line. And it might be that the Hoover can't like get all the way up there, but the leaf blower, who knows?
Yeah. And while they're leaf blowing, there's this really difficult wad of napkins. At least it looked like napkins in the dim light to my clinically blind butt. So I reached down,
where this is going.
Grab it, and immediately hit with the smell and texture. I just grabbed
it's a nappy, isn't it?
and accidentally squished in my hand a human turd.
Oh.
What the hell? Why? Why would anyone do this? Who hurt these people? So I stand up, yell to my co-worker, and grab disinfectant, and promptly go gag in the bathrooms while I scrub up my hands with some of our cleaner. This is why I learned the lesson to always wear gloves when cleaning. It wasn't a nappy. This was
a straight up turd.
This was a midnight screening for Infinity War, and someone didn't want to miss it, so just pooed in some napkins. and put it on the floor.
Listen, Infinity was a good movie. It is not such a good movie that you can't go take a poop in the middle of it. Just wait for one of the screens where they're like chatting in Wakanda. You can go during that. It's fine.
Yeah, because it's not all action, is it?
No. And even then, you can go during the action scenes.
Yeah, you know what's going to
The
happen.
ones in Infinity War
I
aren't
could be
that
better
good.
to go during the fights because it's a fight.
Yeah. Go during one of the fights in Wakanda. Like, watch the stuff on Titan, because that's all really good. The stuff in Wakanda, less so.
Yeah, so...
Regardless, though, even if it was like you have to watch the entire thing, don't poop in a cinema.
Yeah, that's just... people, eh?
All customers are terrible, man. Whenever I go in a shop and I have to buy something, I feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, please don't hate me. I need food.
From that poo story to this poo story
This
of
poo
a
story.
film. Right. Wasn't that
So, that was a decent segue. I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
So the basic plot of this movie is Antonio Banderas plays Jeremy X.
Yep.
Lucy Liu plays Sever. I don't know if she ever has a first name, or if that is her first name. She plays Agent Sever. X, his wife and child... No, his wife died ages ago, but it turns out she didn't. And then his wife had a kid with another guy, but it turned out it's his. And the kid gets kidnapped by Sever, and then the whole film's about trying to get the kid back. And killing the guy who faked his wife's death. It was kind of a convoluted mess in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, also predictable at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you see, like the reveal of the wife comes like fairly late in the film. However, you've seen the wife's face and you've seen the picture of the wife, and it's like you've put two and two together by this point.
Yeah, you've seen the picture that he has of his wife, and the first scene is of this lady.
Yeah. So you've put the twist together about half an hour before they reveal it.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, is real great. So I have a fun fact for you before we start reviewing. Did you know this film is technically a video game adaptation?
Oh. Nice.
So what happened is, they wrote an early script for this before they started production. That script didn't really go anywhere, and they adapted it into a game for the Game Boy called X vs. Sever. And then production restarted, and they made a new script and made a film. So this
added
is
the word ballistic
the
for no
first,
reason.
Yeah, added the word ballistic, and then they released a sequel for the Game Boy called Ballistic Ecks vs. Sever that was an adaptation of the film itself. So the game came first.
So it's the game,
then
and then the
film,
game sequel, which is basically the film.
Yeah, the game, and then the film, and then the game of the film.
But the game of the film is a sequel to the original game.
Yes.
So technically, this film is a sequel to a game, not an adaptation of the game.
Yeah. Technically.
Weird.
And apparently that game for the Game Boy was really good. So, whereas this is the worst rated film on Rotten Tomatoes of all time.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it has 0% with 118 reviews.
Oh, I think I read the wrong one. I got 13% on something.
No, Rotten Tomatoes has it as 0%. Maybe Metacritic has it like 13.
Yeah. There you go.
Unless those numbers have changed since the Wikipedia article was last updated, but I wouldn't think so.
Oh, it's 19% on Metacritic.
Yeah, but it's 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So, the film starts with the kid being kidnapped by Lucy Liu as Sever. And she, it's Lucy Liu. She's kind of a badass. We're okay with that. And like they bring in Agent X to kind of investigate the kid's disappearance and try and take down the evil organization and stuff.
Yeah.
The head of that evil secret organization, Robert Gant, kind of looked like Macklemore. Do you not see it?
I can see it, but just a weird comparison.
It was my first thought looking at him. I was like, oh, that looks like the man who gave me equal rights. It's Macklemore. Hang on, I'm getting a picture of Robert Gant up.
Okay.
Oh, there's actually an actor called Robert Kent. Whoops.
Right.
Yeah. You
I
talk
I,
along,
I
Google.
literally have nothing to say while you're doing this because I'm just still overwhelmed by the fact that this is Macklemore to you.
Well, that's not a good picture.
How is everybody today? If you're watching this video, thank you. We hope you enjoy it. And if you are enjoying it, please comment the words Macklemore.
Macklemore. But as two separate
below.
words.
Yeah, Mackle.
You can figure out the...
Sorry, Macklemore. Macklemore, please.
More
followed by your favourite type of fish.
Yeah. And then once you've done that, I was going to make a joke about like commenting your credit card number, but I'm not going to do that.
We'll get 0 comments, but
yeah,
the choice is there.
So I can't find a good picture of him, but take my word for it, he looks a bit like Macklemore. He hands his the guy who's meant to be bodyguarding his son a gun, and he's like, "Kill yourself. A good knight should fall on his sword for his king." And the dude goes to shoot Macklemore, and the gun fires backwards.
Yeah,
which is not how anything works.
A point for that. That gun has no trigger.
No.
That gun prop has no trigger. He's like, put this to your head. Pull the trigger. And there's just a gap.
There's no trigger.
Yeah.
Well, there's that. And also the fact that the way those guns work is like it has to recoil a bit on the top thing.
Yeah.
And that's where the bullet's coming out of it. So that makes no sense.
Let's look the other way.
But there was no hole in the back of it. It was clearly a normal gun, and then he somehow got shot in the head.
Spies, man. Spies.
Yeah.
Dude,
I really don't have a lot of notes on this one.
That's the thing with this film.
You have some generic action scenes.
Yeah, it was. If you've seen an action film, you don't need to see this film.
No. But some of the specific notes I have. There's a scene where Lucy Liu Sever is running through a mall for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big shootout where the agents are trying to get her and take her down, and she beats up an entire department of agents by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, she shoots a missile at a building, and a guy falls off of it, and you get a long shot of him falling onto a car,
and
it looks terrible.
It was fun though.
I was laughing at that because it's just it's a full 10-15 seconds of just a guy going oh.
You saw him fly off. He flew off completely different angle
in a totally different direction. Yeah. It's in the first episode of Game of Thrones when they pushed Bran out of the tower.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that if that sucked.
Yeah.
It was like if they'd filmed that scene with Bran falling out of the tower in Series 8 of Game of Thrones.
It still looked pretty though, Series 8.
Yeah, true.
It was a visually stunning season, so they'd have made it better.
Whereas this looked terrible.
I think that's what we found with these films is, regardless of how good they are, I think the bad films are better at this than the better ones. Continuity is such a problem with these films.
Yes, for sure.
The really bad films, you don't seem to get any continuity error because they're too busy struggling how to write and act.
Oh no, you definitely do get continuity errors in some of the really bad ones because they can't afford to hire a continuity editor.
But I suppose it's funny, which
makes it funny.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that's so wonderful about The Room.
Yeah,
is there's zero continuity from scene to scene.
But but when you got millions of dollars for a budget, you need to sort this out.
I mean, you say that as if The Room didn't have millions of dollars for its budget.
Yeah, true.
It was just a mess. Anyway, I want to point out another thing I've noticed while I've been doing this is that most of the films have something redeeming about them, right? Mm-hmm. It's and a lot of them will be either the set design or the music will be really good. Or
there's always one character who's funny and sort of
this film had none of that because the set design is very bland. None of the characters stand out to the point I can't remember half the names. The music is the most generic thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
you literally could have told me it was any piece of music from any action movie in the 2000s. It is the most standard guitar riff you've ever heard. They're running down the streets.
Like, okay, cool.
It's very bam, 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 bam. It's like it sounds like a Franz Ferdinand song in every single running scene.
Yeah, because you think someone like Sever would have a really cool costume.
Oh, it's whenever Sever does something as well, you get like the very standard like Oriental singing music essentially, which like could be used for any character of Asian descent, whether they're like Chinese, Japanese, Indian, whatever they are.
Just
they're going to be using that piece of
know
music.
who Lucy Liu was.
Yeah, it's like, hey, remember how Lucy Liu is a Chinese woman? Here's that piece of music again. It's like,
yeah, I think
that sounded more like Edward Scissorhands, but
Lucy Liu is the redeeming factor of this.
She was good.
Yeah.
It's always nice to see Lucy Liu beating people up.
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas was not trying. That there's one quote he has like right near the end of the film that was like, now that's the Antonio Banderas I wanted to see in the rest of this movie.
Because he's like on paper, he's really good. He's done some good things.
I'll find that quote. It's from way later in the film, but there's a bit where he's having like a face-off with the main villain, and this is after he's learned that his wife is alive and was fake married to the main villain.
Yeah.
And the villain and the wife's son is actually Antonio Banderas' son with the wife.
Why?
And the line is...
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, the line is, where are my wife and son? And Antonio Banderas goes, last time I checked, they were not yours. I was like, okay, I'm into this.
Yeah.
And then nothing else he does matters.
No. Well, I've got a couple of... Yeah, we'll talk about Lucy, like Sever. Right. I don't think she's got a first name. Because what we've established from this was the DIA took the second born of a Chinese family, if it was a girl, because of the child policy in China, and trained them. So I think they just gave her this name. The
DIA is like the evil CIA, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, this is... The CIA is the Central Intelligence Agency. We're the Darkness Intelligence Agency.
I think it's just department, which is like, oh, you've got an office.
Well, that would be the Department of Internal Affairs, right? The DIA.
I don't know what it stood for in this.
They never say.
It was on the computers, but I read it and then forgot it.
It was the Donkeys of International Armistice.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
The Drug Dealers of Inner Antarctica.
It's the Defense Intelligence
Agency, or...
Yeah, so they're the ones who prevent stuff.
It's Daniel Iglesias' apartment.
What I found is Sever likes stealing guns from people.
Yes.
But she also, when she was in the mall, she stole a semi-automatic... The mall, yeah. How are you supposed to say it?
The mall?
The mall.
The mall.
Come find me.
I just went to the mall. I went to Taco Bell, and I had a cheesy gordita crunch.
All right.
At the mall.
All right, middle class Matt. Shut up.
I mean, yeah, but I say more like a bloody normal person.
Northern commoner. That's what you are. No, she just has spare magazines.
I don't know why I said commie. Like, I'm socialist as fuck. I don't know why I'm using that as an insult.
She just has spare magazines in her trousers. I was like, you've taken this gun off a dead body. You don't have a way to reload this thing.
Conveniently, you have the right magazine for it.
Stupid.
She also
doesn't die.
No, that's the thing I noticed, is that no one gets injured in this movie.
No. Her car explodes.
Yeah. Well, there's... After the showdown in the mall,
So I call it the mal.
The mal.
The mal.
The mall.
The mal. I'm not American. Mal.
This is the one time where like the sound kind of gets like an or sound. You're pronouncing bath as bath, but you're pronouncing mall as mal.
Yeah, I say bath, mal, 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 mal. I'm just a sheep.
It's true.
Nah.
Anyway, X is chasing down Sever. Sever runs through a street and some like random creep hits on it. It's like, "Hey, beautiful, where you going?" She punches him in the face, and he goes, "Ah, my nose!"
Mm-hmm.
And that made me very happy. So they get into a showdown where...
Oh, that was it. Oh, I was going to say, because I thought you meant about like no one gets injured, because when X comes back, I am
getting to that.
Yeah.
She like drives back, dodges some cop cars, drives into the street, runs X over. Mm-hmm. He goes over the top of the car, and then he shoots out her tire, and then she instantly crashes into a truck. The way it's shot, even if he hadn't shot out the tire, there was no time for her to turn. She would have hit that truck anyway. Mm-hmm. And then hitting the truck flips her car and blows it up. And X, just having been run over, is unscathed. He gets up just fine. Sever, who has just been in a car crash where the car has exploded and she's to crawl out of a broken window, is unscathed, is running, is no scratches on her.
Not even a nosebleed.
No. Later on, X gets punched in the face once and he's like bleeding from the side of his face.
Mm-hmm.
Continuity.
Realism is what it is.
Like, I have a note here that I have no idea what it means. It just says brackets gets shot. It would have been when like X's backup.
Yeah,
he's like runs in, mm-hmm. and then Sever shoots him in the shoulder, and it takes him a second. He gets shot, and then goes, "Oh!" and falls.
He's like, "I'm okay."
It hit my vest.
Yeah. The vehicles are very slow in this film.
And very explosive.
This motorbike chase. They were going the speed limit.
Yeah. I have a
it's
feeling...
very slow.
I don't know cars very well. But I have a feeling if you shot one with a handgun at a random point in it, it wouldn't explode.
No, it wouldn't.
In this film...
Unless it went straight through the exhaust, and that's a very good shot.
This film, you tap a car the wrong way and it blows up. This car's blowing up in every goddamn scene. They're having a nice dinner at home. They're having a nice dinner at home. You look out the window, your car's blowing up on your driveway just because it's been sat there too long.
Yeah.
Kids playing with toy cars and there's little explosions happening everywhere. I don't think explosions are so big until in the finale when he throws the grenade in that thing of water and it gives the tiniest little explosion.
Hello there! How are you doing? Do you ever feel like you want to get from A to B but don't want to walk anywhere? Yeah. Do you sometimes feel like your legs don't work properly and you want someone to walk for you?
I've certainly thought that from time to time.
Well, I'm bringing you a product today, and I'm bringing you what I like to call the Walkomatic 8000. Let me tell you a little bit about the Walkomatic 8000. What it is, it's still patent pending, but what it is basically some attachments to your legs, almost like stilts. But it's two legs, and then what you do is you stand on a middle piece. Think of them like trousers, and you stand on where the legs go originally. And on there, there's two little pedals. And all you have to do is pedal, and the legs move for you. How's that sound?
That sounds like a bike.
No. This is what our most common question is. Why can't we just use a bike? But how do bikes get upstairs?
That's a good point.
So, you can pedal now instead of walking. Does that sound good?
Right. I do have some concerns. Not many, I'll be honest.
Yes,
I like the idea of having robots. I do like the idea of having robot legs.
Yeah.
I'm assuming these will be cool robots.
We'll go with yes. Yeah.
Now, why we'll go with yes? That sounded like you were having some concerns.
No, I'm just here to please you. It's not made from Meccano.
My other concern is
Yes.
what happens if you can't ride a bike?
I haven't thought about this. The Walkomatic 8000 could be yours for only £99.99.99, or just to let you know, it's £9,999.
Wow, I'll take
99.
3.
Thank you. The Walkomatic 8000 to get you from A to B without using your knees.
Buy 3 of them.
They need an ultra-realistic action film.
Or they need to go full silly. But
Yeah.
they don't go either.
No.
This film couldn't decide whether it wanted to be like a James Bond, more serious, more realistic one, or a Mission Impossible where it can go a bit silly and a bit wild.
Yeah.
And in the end, what it settled on was being boring as hell.
Yeah, it was quite boring. Was the film sponsored by Nokia? Do you know?
Very likely. I think this is a Sony production, and Sony owns Nokia.
Because one of the characters was on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you. I don't know if I haven't. Like, the phones were quite old in this film. I don't have a brand on my screen. The guy was like this on the phone, and at the bottom was the word Nokia with no button. So where's my? Let's take this out.
This is
so my my brand's on the bottom here. So it basically he's on the phone like this.
2002.
He was like this on the phone.
This was before the age of smartphones, to be fair.
Yeah. So why was it? There'd be buttons down there then, wouldn't there? There wouldn't just be the word Nokia. It was basically like he was doing this.
A brief
Hello?
Google search of this film was made by Warner Brothers. A brief Google search of Nokia Warner Brothers shows up various news articles about them teaming up and partnering and stuff. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
You have another like few action scenes. None of them really matter. X goes to meet up with his wife, and they meet in an aquarium for some reason. That's never really explained.
Nice lighting.
And you get a flashback to the day that X disappeared, and they both thought that the other one had died. This was the moment the film stopped working for us the first time.
Yeah.
Because in this scene, Robert Gant, who is the Macklemore villain, he blows up X's car, and then he blows up his own car. He blows up the X car to make the wife think that X is dead. He blows up his own car to make X think the wife is dead.
Yeah.
And when he blows up X's car, she yells, "Oh God, no! Jeremy!" And it's not the tone it needs to be. Like, it should have been like sad, but she just kind of does it monotone. And
She
very
seems
funny.
quite numb to tragedy. At the beginning,
Yeah.
her child gets kidnapped. And she just opens the door and watches the child go away. She could be numb.
To be fair, he's not kidnapped at that point. The
she
guy
knows
taking
that
the child away is working for Gant, and that's her husband at this point. So she's annoyed, but it's not like a kidnapping.
You'd be a little bit more
However,
resistant though,
she's
because
been
she was like,
angry,
no, he's staying with me, and then the henchman goes in the back of the car and just takes him, and she doesn't like try and stop him.
She takes the phone call of her husband and is like, "This sucks, man," and that's it. But then later on, when like she does find out that the kid's been kidnapped, her response is like, "Well, get him back."
Yeah,
and that's about it. And like later on, when Gant comes back and like threatens her and her son, she's like, "No, I don't really care." So they go and have a big final showdown with Gant. During it, Antonio Banderas steps on a mine. He takes his foot off the mine and runs away. The mine takes like 5 seconds to go off after that. It is the world's slowest bomb.
Well, I don't. It wasn't. It was more like a pressure plate.
Yeah, but it's still very slow.
Yeah. He obviously
It
programmed
gives
it.
him just enough time to run away from the explosions.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking in that scene, wouldn't it have been funny if he took his foot off the pressure plate and just died instantly? like a full Kingsman 2 scene kind of thing.
Don't. I was cried.
Kingsman 2, not at this.
No.
Maybe tears of boredom with this one.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the film just kind of goes as you expect it, you know. His main henchman fights Sever and dies. He tries to take the MacGuffin drone out of his son's arm. His son has like a killing machine in his arm, I guess.
Yeah.
It was an idea stolen from Mission Impossible 2 with the Chimera virus and the Bellerophon vaccine. And then it's like, oh, where's the killing machine? It's not there. And then Lucy Liu shoots him with it. And then he dies.
Well, because what it was is they said that someone's going to die soon, but they didn't take it out. But I think what she did, because she was doing some operations on him, she extracted something from him to make it dormant, and then she put it in a bullet. And then she put the bullet,
shoots him.
She put the gun on top of some Petri dishes just in case she needed it later. And she did.
She did. So they save the day, and then at the end of the film, X and Sever are like, cheers for that. See you later.
Yep.
Is as much energy as they have talking to each other. This film felt like everyone in it was giving about a 3 out of 10 performance.
Yeah.
Like,
as you can tell by our tone, we're not that enthralled by this film.
No. Antonio Banderas was just like, just spell my name right on the check.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that next week we're going back to Sharknado. Because I need to pick me up after this movie.
Let's see.
Disappointing.
If I got anything else that's actually worth... Can we talk... Can we talk about Ray Park?
Is he the Chinese guy?
He's the English guy.
Oh, he was like Agent
English
Ross.
guy who is Darth Maul.
Is that Darth Maul?
Yep. Not the
They
voice.
wasted him.
But he's the
like he's
Darth
the
Maul.
guy who does this.
Which
was
is
he the guy who
why
did the stunts for Darth Maul?
when it was him versus Lucy Liu, that was like those two actually fighting, which was really cool because those two know how to do. Does Lucy Liu do her own stunts?
She does.
Yeah, so those two, like...
Well, that's the thing. It could have been really cool, but it was a really underwhelming fight. They barely did anything.
Yeah, but some of the
it was mainly just them slapping at each
acrobatics
other.
was cool.
Yeah, I mean the flips and stuff, sure, but like the final shooting is just like, oh, I'm choking you with a chain. Oh, I hit your head. Oh, and you're in the pool.
I can understand why they got someone else to voice Darth Maul.
Yeah,
because Ray Park, bless him, no matter how good his stunts are, he is dull as anything.
Yeah,
and he stares a lot.
One fight scene that I did like in this film was the one where Lucy Liu beats up like the 5 cops with her 2 batons.
Yeah,
that was cool. That felt like not on the same quality as a film like The Raid, but like that kind of action where it's like you're surrounded by guys and you're beating them all up at once, and it's like fast-paced and cool. And it made me want to go watch The Raid because the action in that is just so much better.
Can we talk about casting as well?
Okay.
Antonio Banderas.
Mm-hmm.
Very prominent Spanish actor.
Yeah, especially in the early 2000s, for sure.
The mum, can't remember her name. Puerto Rican descent.
Okay.
Parents, basically Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
I know the whole point is like, oh, it's meant to be this Macklemore's son.
Yeah.
But if you've got a Latina mum, you're not going to look like a Macaulay Culkin clone, are you?
Do you think Macklemore's son would be called Macklemost?
No, it'd be no. He'll become
Mackleson.
Macklemost. He'll become Macklemost.
And then his son will become Macklemore.
Mm-hmm.
But then who's Mackle's son? And what is a Mackle?
His son's Mackle.
His son Mackle.
Yeah.
And I'm his dad Macklemore, and this is my dad Macklemost.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then the lady who played the mum played Katana in the Mortal Kombat films.
Oh.
But when you think about that in this film, you should have got someone like Lucy Liu to play Katana. It would have made more sense. And would have been better.
Yeah. She would have been wasted in that movie too.
She would have been completely wasted, but...
Yeah, like she was in this, frankly. She did not have enough dialogue in this movie.
No, well, when she's done things like Charlie's Angels and Kill Bill and stuff, you need to give her some good films.
Yeah. I mean, Kill Bill's meant to be good.
No, I say like, when she's done stuff like that, you need to actually give her good films.
Because Charlie's Angels is meant to be quite bad.
She was in the original one, wasn't she? Like
she was in the 2000s one. I mean, is meant to be quite bad.
Oh, is it? Okay, then I just assumed it was good.
Most recent one, from what I understand, is very good, even though it didn't get very good reviews.
Right.
It's good in the same way that Birds of Prey is really good.
Okay.
In that, if you're a fan of female action movies and very bisexual energy to those action movies, you're gonna like it. However, if you're a straight angry man on Twitter, you probably won't.
No, sorry, I just assumed Charlie's Angels was good. So I was saying like Charlie's Angels, Kill Bill, good film. Stop giving her these sort of films just because she could do her own stunts.
She was in something really good in like the late 2000s, I think. I'm going to quickly look up her.
Yeah, you look at her filmography. Yeah, we'll talk about. I'll going to talk about more about the damage of Antonio Banderas while you're looking for this. While he runs away from the mine, he gets completely submerged was not the word, that's water. But a whole stack of pipes falls on top of his body.
Yes.
And then one of the goons comes over to check he's still alive, and if he is, to shoot him in the head, basically. And he's not under the pipes anymore. He's conveniently next to the pipes.
He just gets out fine.
Without any damage done to his body. He was run over. He was shot at. He crashed his motorbike and flew over the motorbike with no helmet and landed on the floor. And then had pipes go over him. And he had a scratch from a slap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with Lucy Liu, the ones I was thinking of is she's really good in the Kung Fu Panda movies.
Oh, she...
Master Viper.
The snake, yeah.
Yeah. She, not a film, but she was in Elementary.
Of course she was. Yeah, she was Watson, wasn't she?
She's a Watson.
Yeah.
And apparently that show kind of sucks, but she's meant to be great in it. And then the other thing that I was thinking of that I just got reminded of when I was looking through her TV stuff, she was on Futurama and played herself and also a horde of clone robots of herself. She is so funny in Futurama. The episode with her is incredible. There's this iconic moment in it where the original Lucy Liu bot that Fry was dating gets injured defeating the horde of clone robots while the head of Lucy Liu looks on. And she's like lying there dying as Fry is like putting her out of misery. And she looks at Fry and goes like, "I'll never forget you, Fry. Memory deleted."
Oh no.
It kills me. It's so funny.
Yeah, she's done good stuff then.
She has, and Antonio Banderas has done good stuff, and I'm sure the supporting cast have as well. It just happens that this film sucks.
Yeah.
You
always feel bad that you've wasted talent when the film's bad.
Yeah. You also feel bad wasting your own time when the film's bad.
Yeah, it lost something like 50 million.
More, I think it was like 120 million it lost. Something like that.
Because I thought it cost like 70 and then it made 20 or something.
Oh, no, I think it cost 80 and then made 20, so it lost about 60.
Yeah.
I believe. Again, I will just have a quick look. No, you're right, 20 and 70. It was 50 it lost.
You can tell by my yawn in my eyes I've just watched this film. I watched it just before I was recording, hence why my energy is very low, because
Same.
It was very dull.
I also watched it I finished watching it about an hour before we started, and I haven't picked up the energy since then. But maybe I can find us a new well of energy.
Don't
Bringing
zen
you
me.
the magic of philosophy, or maybe we should call it filmosophy. So I went with Antonio Banderas for this one. I think that was the right choice.
Yeah.
So let me bring you some Antonio Banderas filmosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Expectation is the mother of all frustration. That's genuinely a pretty good quote, right? Like the more you have expectations about something, the more frustrated you'll be if it doesn't match those expectations.
Sorry, I'm just looking at my kitchen and realised I made myself a cup of tea for this.
And has it gone cold?
Well, it's been sat over there for 40 minutes with the tea bag in, so that's stewed.
That is a strong brew.
I'm not going to be drinking that one. This day's just made me really sad.
Your expectations about that cup of tea have brought you frustration, and our expectations about this movie have too. So thank you, Antonio, for teaching us this lesson. I like flesh. I do. Something to hold. Is a quote on quote websites about Antonio Banderas, and I do not know the context, and I never will. Cats are very sexy, I think, too, in the way they move. So this has been Filmosophy. And I'm just going to move us right along into the pitch section.
Yeah, we're not
even going to dwell on that one.
Nope.
I was very happy with that Filmosophy. So, all right, we need to make a new action spy movie.
Yeah.
So,
Are we doing the verses?
Yes. Not us versing each other, but we're doing a film that has two movies versus each other.
Yeah, like an Alien versus Predator, where they've already established each other.
Perfect. So you'll come up with one, I come up with one.
Do they have to be spy films?
No, they have to be at least action, though.
I'm going with action spy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm not going to go spy, but I've got an action one.
Oh,
you go first.
I've got two in my head. One or two.
Two.
Right.
You go first, because mine's going to change the setting in a very funny way.
This film starts. I don't know much about these. I'm going to make up the film. I know the characters, but I don't know much about them.
Okay. Tell me what the film is.
No.
Okay.
I'm completely changing the origin of this film.
Okay.
The film starts with somebody who works in a pizza parlor. Every day for the last 6 years. He doesn't like it, but he does it for the money. One day, a customer has to rush out because he has a phone call, and he leaves his hat on the table. Wait, sir, you left your hat. Oh, no, he's gone. Oh, this is a nice-looking hat. I might take it for myself. He puts on the hat, goes outside, and suddenly he starts flying. This hat has a propeller inside.
Oh, it's Inspector Gadget. Okay.
I can't remember how he... I haven't seen it enough to know how it goes, so...
And Inspector Gadget is a full-on cyborg. The propeller hat... It comes out of his head. He is a robot man.
This is a man with a hat.
Okay. So this Inspector Gadget is an inspector who has gadgets.
Either that, or it then he's enjoying it and he's using it to mess around, but then it does consume him and he turns into a robot. And that's when he becomes a spy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in his spying, Inspector Gadget has to go undercover in the wastelands of Mad Max. Because this film is, we need a random adjective, like ballistic. So, rambunctious.
Rambunctious Max versus Gadget.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes,
Inspector Gadget has to go undercover in Fury Road, it's Immortan Joe, but it's going to be a different villain for this one. So it's going to be Unkillable Fred. It's going undercover in Unkillable Fred's evil castle of doom, and while
does
they're
Inspector Gadget?
for him and fighting. Yes.
Yeah.
To investigate the kidnapping of Penny, who is Inspector Gadget's daughter, niece,
a child,
young female companion.
She's the blonde child.
Yeah.
If she's a robot, I don't have a clue.
She's not a robot.
Yeah.
She's just a kid.
So who knows?
He is a robot.
Who knows?
And he's there to investigate her kidnapping.
Yeah.
And Max, the mad one, still played by Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
because he did a great job the first time. Is there to just kill all of them because that's what he does sometimes. Also, Furiosa's in this one as well because again, Charlize Theron did such a good job. It's the exact all the Mad Max stuff is just the exact tone and style of Fury Road. And it's wonderful. And all the Inspector Gadget stuff's really dumb and doesn't fit the tone of it at all, and that's where the comedy comes from.
Yeah. And it's just him. It's him trying to solve a mystery while the van is constantly moving in this weird death race.
Yeah.
And then there's some weird slapstick because he keeps finding problems because a window falls out or he goes to arrest someone they've already been shot. They're oh, I can't interrogate you now.
A dude throws a flaming spear at him and he ducks under it and throws a pie back at him.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And in the end of the movie, Inspector Gadget accidentally brutally murders Unkillable Fred.
And then
he's go, Gadget, rocket punch! And he punches him and he falls into a giant spike pit.
And then Max can't finish his conquest.
Well, then Max isn't conquesting. He's just kind of going from place to place, solving problems. So once Unkillable Fred's done, he just walks away into the sunset. And Inspector Gadget chases him on Heelys. They keep getting stuck in the sand.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So we need to cast the Inspector Gadget half of the movie. John Travolta is Inspector Gadget. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
John Travolta now.
Yeah, of course. I'm not suggesting we use the time machine from the Shakespeare movie again. As Penny,
that's all I need. That's me.
We
that's
need
me done.
A young actress. It's gonna be Chloe Grace Moretz as Penny.
Okay. She can do her own fight sequences then, can't she?
Yeah. And then as Unkillable Fred, it's gonna be. We want it to be someone not old, but kind of middle-aged.
What vibe do you want? What vibe do you want?
Just I'm thinking a big guy, but not wrestler big. And he's mean. He can play a villain. It was for the Mad Max. It was kind of a no-name guy.
Ray Winston.
Ray Winston's a good shout. Yeah, no, I'm liking.
Just to let you know, the Inspector Gadget sequence is motion capture.
Oh, okay.
So he looks like he's slightly animated.
So it's John Travolta. It's John Travolta's face over it, and he's doing the voice, but doing the mocap is Andy Serkis.
No, it's John Travolta.
Okay, but can it be Andy Serkis just doing a really, really fluid movement thing?
You want the inspector to actually move really well. He just does stupid stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Really good slapstick.
Okay, I'll let you have that.
Yeah. There's only one scene where it's properly John Travolta. It's a scene where he accidentally hits his head on a piece of furniture on the top.
Okay.
So playing Unkillable Fred's kind of assistant people is Taika Waititi and Steve Buscemi.
Like Pain and Panic.
Yes. In Fury Road, for example, he's got a big, ridiculously strong henchman, and then a little dude. And he's got a little dude.
Which is Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. I've seen Taika Waititi be like Korg. You want a
Steve
massive
Buscemi
body with just
as
Steve
the
Buscemi's
Hulk,
head.
essentially.
Yeah.
And then Taika Waititi playing like just like it's like a dwarf character
he
in
can play
Fury
that.
Road. It doesn't have to be a dwarf for this one, but like a weaker, intelligent kind of guy.
Yeah. Can the guitar be in it? The guitar guy still be in it because he was so
yes.
fun. I was so good with that.
That's the thing. I think he dies in Fury Road.
He does.
However, we'll just have another one because he's the best thing in Fury Road.
He was so cool.
He is the best thing in a perfect movie. So, and then here's the twist though, because after you said Ray Winston, the other name I had for Unkillable Fred came into my head. And he's going to play Coma the Doof, which is the guitar guy's name. Which, by the way, isn't that a great name for a character?
Yeah.
Playing Coma the Doof is John C. Reilly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He can play music, so that's good.
Yeah. And he can set someone on fire in this. And then the only other character I think we need to cast is Claw, the Inspector Gadget main villain, who has to make a cameo.
Is Claw going to be in it?
I think so. He's not going to appear.
Are we going to see?
He's not going to interact with anyone.
We're
not going to see his face. We're just going to hear his voice. So we need a voice actor.
What accent do you want him to have?
It's got to just be thick, evil, gritty, dark voice. Because like in the show, Claw is like, "I'll get you, Inspector Gadget."
I've got it.
Hit me.
Joe Pasquale.
I didn't hear what you said. You're too close to the mic.
Joe Pasquale.
Joe Pasquale?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a choice.
You want him to be gritty and dark. The grittiest and darkest voice I know is Joe Pasquale.
All right. Can I hand you an alternate answer?
It won't be better than Joe Pasquale, but gone.
Chris Eubank.
Okay, you've won. Okay. Yeah.
Wait, no. It's Greg Davies doing Chris Eubank as Claw.
I'm gonna get you, Inspector Gadget. I'm gonna get you. Gonna punch you in the face.
I'm gonna get you, Inspector Gadget.
Yes.
And if it's the last thing I do.
Yes.
That wasn't a very good Chris Eubank. But
Neither was mine.
So, no.
I can't do Joe Pasquale.
Nobody does a good Eubank.
We'll take Chris Eubank.
So that's Rambunctious Max versus Gadget.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to a cinema last week. It was already out.
Yeah, that'll be a good film. I'll take it.
I mean, half of it would just be rewatching Fury Road, which is good enough for me. So that is another episode of Boogaloo. I hope you enjoyed this slightly lower key episode, you know.
I feel like
next week we'll be back on our Sharknado madness. So
yeah, we're going to be excessively crazy next week.
Full of sharks.
Sharks.
So if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure to like it, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, and hit that little dingy bell. Ding, 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 to get notifications for when we upload a new video. Check out the other stuff on the Liquid Eagle channel. We've got sketches, we've got songs, we got a Q&A coming up, which we've recorded already, but probably isn't out yet. Right?
No, it won't be.
Okay. And if it is, just watch it. And if it's not, wait, and then watch it. So yeah, that's been Electric Boogaloo. I've been Matt. That's been Keenan.
Yeah.
And would you like to hit them with the famous outro to Electric Boogaloo?
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That took you by surprise, didn't it?
It really did, yeah. What's great about this, though, is that this is still part of the outro.
Yeah.
I'm still going.
Yeah,
we haven't stopped the outro yet. The outro doesn't stop until I say